r/AskReddit by Redmond ETS. What did one stranger do that you'll never forget? I gave a homeless guy $20 and he said, "No, you keep it, you look like you need it more than me." I walked off smiling, but I knew deep down inside it was because I had recently been smoking meth and it was starting to show. 4 years clean yesterday. The gangster dude at the gas station who was walking up to the door with his friend and stopped to tell him, "Hold up, I gotta hold the door for this bitch," as he held the door for me. Classic. I almost drowned at a resort in Disney World because I made a wrong turn off the water slide into the deep end and I was too short to stand up. And some random dude pulled me out of the water without spilling his beer. Saved a kid and didn't spill his beer. He's a real one. In 2004, I was in the middle of a divorce. Started over my life with my truck keys and 2 daughters, 7 and 4. I was in the grocery store and had some items to tide us over for a few days. I left my wallet and my coat in the truck and didn't want to hold up the line. I kept apologizing and asked the cashier to cancel the transaction and I'd run out and get back in line to pay. Was like $50. Lady behind me paid. I told her I would wait for her and pay her when she finished. She looked at me and said, "You look like you have your hands full. Pay it forward someday." I never forgot her kindness, and I have probably paid for half a dozen people since then that were in similar situations. Pay it forward. She gave me some hope for humanity at a time when I needed it. Thank you, mystery lady. TLDR, said goodnight to me. I flew from New Jersey to Austin, Texas to officiate my cousin's wedding. The entire ordeal sucked. I had 2 young children, a baby and a toddler. We brought along a super heavy car seat that we ended up not needing. The commute there was tough. At the actual event, I had to do the work of officiating the wedding, all the while dealing with the young kids. You'd think I'd have more help being surrounded by family, but nope. After the trip, the flight back home was just as exhausting. I also got an unpleasant email at the airport about an unrelated occurrence. The usual attitude from TSA, my kids tantruming, and when I got back to New Jersey, it was raining hard to add insult to injury. I left the wife and kids at the terminal so I could get the car, swing back and pick them up. It'd make more sense than all of us going to the parking lot. I got into the elevator with another family, a husband, wife and their teen daughter. I was really on the brink of a breakdown after that whole trip. They got off one level before me, and as they exited the elevator the dad made sure to tell me, "Have a good night." He said it in a way as if he somehow knew what I went through. I needed that, man. I really needed that. My card got declined at a Walgreens when I was trying to buy some aspirin. I was suicidally depressed, on food stamps, living in my car, suffering an insane headache, and just realized I had run out of money for the month. I'm trying to hold my shit together long enough to apologize and just put the aspirin back when this kid behind me, about 17, about 5ish years younger than me at the time, said to the cashier that he'd get it. Then he looked at me and asked if I wanted anything else, like a candy or drink. I said no, that's okay, but he bought me a ginger ale anyway because it always helps me when I feel like shit, which made me laugh. Then he walked with me to my car, brushed off my thank you with a very genuine "we've all been there," and told me he hoped to see me around. When I jokingly asked, "So I can pay you back?" he very seriously said, "No." Kid could smell the suicidal ideation on me, I'm sure. I think about him all the time. It's been like 20 years. I hope he's having a good life out there. I was on a school trip to Italy, and we were on the dome of the St. Peter's Basilica. I ran across a fairly handsome Danish dude a few times on the way up and down, and at the top he told me, "I'm not gay, but I would be for you." I'm not gay either, but a compliment is a compliment, and we took pictures. I still think about it when I'm feeling down, to be honest. A fruit stand vendor gave me fruits for free because I couldn't transfer money to his account. I then went home and took cash and then traveled to his stand and paid him. I was walking to the park late at night planning to kill myself. A stranger walked past me, and as he did, he simply smiled at me and waved. I had decided because of that I wasn't going to kill myself. Seeing that stranger smile at me like I was a long lost friend made me think differently, and now I'm still alive, 11 years later. Tip your hat to that of the unknown. It's polite to gesture a lonesome stranger. 45 years ago, my mom picked me up from my Cub Scouts meeting, but we had to stop at the drugstore on the way home. We were waiting there for what seemed like forever, and I remembered I had a quarter in my pocket I forgot to give our den leader for dues. So I grabbed a 25-cent candy bar and went to the counter to buy it. I didn't know about tax. I was humiliated when the clerk asked for 26 cents, but a nice dude behind me gave them the 1 cent for me. I will never forget the relief I felt. A homeless person gave me a titty twister when I was holding my child in public. When we had to put down our 18-year-old cat, Fred, I was sitting in the waiting room at the vet's while my husband wrapped things up at the front desk. I was in shock, numb and bewildered. The pain was so immense I couldn't express. It was too big to leave my body. The young Orthodox Jewish couple who were there with their dog must have seen something in my face, though, because the woman walked over and hugged me. Just hugged me, a grieving stranger. I've never forgotten her kindness. I finished the Chicago Marathon and was pretty bummed that I didn't have any family or friends at the finish line. A few hours later, I was in a pizza restaurant by myself, still wearing my medal, and some random lady came up to me and said, "I just want you to know that I'm really proud of you." It made me want to cry. Flashed me, completely naked, at a gas pump when I was 12. The first naked adult you see should never be an elderly naked man with bad intentions. That's all, folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more? Have a nice evening.